speaking about this social unrest in Egypt and how it could affect investment, both foreign and domestic, we now bring in one of Egypt's leading businessmen. Naguib Sawiris is head of Egypt's largest telecom company, and he is joining us now on the phone from Gouna, Egypt. Mr. Sawiris, thanks so much for joining us this morning. As a businessman, what do you make of the demonstrations, the calls for President Mubarak to resign? Is this Egypt's Berlin Wall? Could it be positive for the economy and for investment?
It is definitely positive, because the people in the streets are not just calling for that. They're calling for real democracy. You know, they want their freedom back. They want their elections back. They want the right to choose who governs them. They don't like the last elections. And therefore, this is good news for Egypt, because the best security for any investment is democracy. Democracy is really the gateway to a stabilized country, to a stable investment. So I think there is nobody here who's not happy with this development. All what we're hoping for, that there will be an interim period for the country to restore its rule and order and to go forward into a democratic regime.
You mentioned freedom. We know you are the head of Egypt's largest telecoms. What does it mean to your business when the government steps in and shuts down all major communication systems? I'm assuming your company's activities included.
It is an unfortunate situation, because, you know, we are unable to continue with our business. You know, without email, without SMS, we are all trapped in our houses, and we cannot go to the offices because it's useless. You know, I think this is a temporary situation. I'm sure once the government is formed, they will restore the communication, and we will go back to business. You know, but really, our worry right now is not our business or our communication. Our worry is for our country and the future of our country.
Speaking of the concerns about the country, some analysts have told us that this social unrest could cost something like 80% of GDP this year. As a business leader, do you think that's too dramatic a figure, or does that sound about right?
No, that's too dramatic of a figure. You know, once the rule and order is restored, once we have an acceptable government, I think business will go back to usual. Egypt was not doing very bad on post the crisis. You know, people are just gone impatient, and I think the lack of democracy and the last elections has fueled the anger more than the economic situation. People feel that their rights to choose and vote has been hijacked, and therefore this revolt. You know, but I think once we have a government that is acceptable to the people, that will talk to the people and understand their wishes, I think we will go back to business as usual. I think this 80% is really dramatic and unwarranted.
Mr. Sawiris, do you feel any pressure to leave Egypt? I mean, we mentioned you're the head of the largest telecoms company. You're one of its wealthiest citizens. Do you feel like any of this populist anger could be directed towards you personally or other business leaders?
No, it cannot be directed to honest businessmen who have created the economy and helped grow the country. You know, we are a family with roots here. We will not leave the country. And if anybody who leaves now is like a rat leaving a sinking boat, you know, and he has decided to sell out for his country. We will not do that. We are big believers in Egypt and the future of Egypt, you know. And we are not, people know who are the good industrialists, who people have built this country, from the beneficiaries of people who have been corrupting or benefiting from corruption. So that is not my worry. My worry is that this green revolution of the use of the Facebook and the internet generation could be hijacked by fundamentalists or extremists, and that is the real worry we have right now. Besides that, we are not worried at all.
Mr. Sawiris, thank you so much for the time. Naguib Sawiris joining us there from Gouna in Egypt. He is the leader, the head of Egypt's largest telecom company, and he is one of Egypt's wealthiest citizens.